and welcome to our candidate forum. I'm Robin Robinson, General Manager of 91.3 HopeFM. The upcoming primary election is August 20th, and we always encourage our listeners to vote, but especially because many of our local races are going to be decided in August and then some of the others in November. When it comes to doing candidate forums, we feel we can be completely impartial, and we're just asking questions that we think will help our listeners make an informed decision. In the judge race, we realize we are limited as to what questions we can ask. So our goal today is to introduce you to the three candidates that are running for judge, and that way you can get to know them a little bit better before the primary election. For Putnam County Court Judge, we have three candidates. And just a little history on this particular opening. Last year, then County Court Judge Joe Boatwright was appointed to the District Court of Appeals by the governor, who then appointed Anne Marie Gennusa as our county judge. So even though she only had the position a short time, it was with the understanding that it was up for re-election this year. So we have Judge Gennusa as our incumbent and two other candidates, Alex Sharp and Constance Daniels, and they're all running nonpartisan. Now, in order to win this election in the primary on August 20th, the candidate, in order to win, has to receive at least 50% plus one vote. And if that doesn't happen, then the top two candidates will go to the November election. So before we get started, I want to just say thank you all for being here. We're so glad to have you. And we're going to ask a few questions, and we'll give you each 1 minute to answer each question. We're going to alternate who goes first, so nobody has to answer each question first every single time. So we're going to start with our current judge, Anne Marie Gennusa. And your first question, please tell us about yourself.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Anne Marie Gennusa, and I am your current Putnam County Judge, sitting over county court matters and acting circuit judge over delinquency and truancy matters. I'm married to Bob, who is a retired law enforcement officer, sergeant with a local sheriff's office, as well as mother to 5 and grandmother to 3, plus an almost 4th, which should be here in about a month, I think almost on election day. I attended law school at Temple University School of Law, and I've been a practicing attorney prior to taking the bench for almost 30 years. I ran my own private practice. In addition to having my Juris Doctorate, I have 2 master-level certifications, one in human resource management and the other one in government contracting. I love serving the people of Putnam County, and I am hoping to keep my seat here in Palatka. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And same question to Alex Sharp. Please tell us about yourself.
Absolutely. Good morning, Robin, and thank you for having us here and giving us this opportunity to speak to everybody. I'm a longtime county resident here in Putnam County. I grew up here. I've worked here all my life. I've never left. And I've owned a few businesses, and I've done a lot of jobs here in Putnam County. But one thing I've always liked to do, my true passion, is giving back to the community. I'm currently the legal counsel for the Putnam County Sheriff's Office, and I'm also a sworn deputy. I also teach part-time at the college. I volunteer with many civic organizations. I'm a member of the Palatka Sunrise Rotary, and I just like giving back to the community. It's very rewarding to me. My family is also important to me. I've raised all my boys here in Putnam County. We too have a new addition to our family, little Ian. We adopted him last year. And I'm just wanting the opportunity to continue serving the citizens of Putnam County, and I hope you make me as your choice going forward.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex. And then Constance Daniels, please tell us about yourself.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I am Constance Daniels. I am a native Floridian. My roots are deep in Hillsborough, in Putnam County. My family, my entire maternal side of the family, dating back beyond 114 years, is here in Putnam County. I was educated at the University of Florida, both undergrad and graduate, and I have over 30 years of courtroom experience. I attended the University of Florida College of Law, and after graduating from UF, I went to Hillsborough County to work as a certified legal intern with the state attorney's office, and ultimately I started my own practice in 1997, where I have garnered experience in both family and criminal law, federal law. I am licensed to practice in all of the courts in the state of Florida, Middle District Court, Northern District, the United States Court of Appeals.
All right, thank you so very much. For our next question, we'll go to Alex Sharp to start first with that one. Why do you want to be our next court judge?
Well, as I said before, I want to continue serving our community. That's something I've done all my life here in Putnam based on my jobs and the various positions I've held. And I think I have the knowledge, temperament, and the communication skills to give Putnam County the judge it deserves. And one thing I've always been passionate about is fairness and justice. And over the years, I've seen our county grow, change, and I think my unique background as a former law enforcement officer, now deputy sheriff, a business holder in the community, it gives me a unique perspective on how our county is going to continue in the next 10 or 15 years. Some of my background also included, as I've said, a police officer. I was also a felony prosecutor, a business owner. I actually sit on many boards within the area, and I think Putnam County needs to make that choice. And again, if given the opportunity, I think I would make the best choice for Putnam County's judge.
All right, thank you so much. Constance Daniels, same question. Why do you want to be our next county judge?
Because I bring perspective to the bench. Again, I have a background in various areas of law, both state, both federal, criminal, and with that experience on the state level, I've practiced in probably every area of law. So once I win this election, the chief judge could place me in any area of law that is a county court area that I've had experience in, so it won't be new to me in terms of the area of law and the laws that apply. In addition to that, I have the right temperament, which means I'll be fair, treating everyone with respect and honor, respecting the due process component of law. I'll be impartial, which means I won't prejudge the case, and I'll make sure that the justice that one deserves that I provide based on the law. I will treat everyone with the same level of respect and apply rule on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, thank you so much. And Judge Anne Marie Gennusa, why do you want to continue to be our county judge?
Thank you again. I took the bench over a year ago. I had been practicing in Putnam County. A lot of people don't know this, but I've been practicing in Putnam County since 2000. So I bring a great range of knowledge of Putnam County because not only did I work here, but I got to know a lot of people during my time prior to taking the bench. The great thing about getting the appointment and actually serving in this position is I didn't have any conflicts. I actually preside currently over misdemeanor criminal, and my husband, if he had been a cop here, that would have ultimately cost the taxpayers money because there may have been cases that I would have had to either recuse myself or disqualify myself from, which was one of the things when I went up for the appointment, I discussed that with the governor's office because the people of Putnam County should not have to bear that burden of having to have conflicts that would happen with whoever your county judge is. I bring a very broad range of experience here, and I want to keep my position. Thank you.
Thank you so much. For our next question, we'll go first to Constance Daniels. What qualifications do you have that you feel would help you to fulfill the duties of this office?
As I said earlier, I have over 30 years of experience. What that means is, as a third-year law student, I started as a certified legal intern. What that afforded me was the opportunity to clerk before judges. So I've been being groomed for judges my entire career, beginning as a law school student. Having said that, I understand how judges conduct themselves. I've been garnered the responsibility of not only answering to the court, but answering to counsel. And in addition to that, all of the experience that I have had, I've utilized it as best I can, in addition to, and the various levels of experience. Not only trial court level, but federal level too. And with that experience, it qualifies me to appear, to preside, and to be fair, impartial, and unbiased.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And Judge Gennusa, you're already in the position, but tell us what qualifications you feel that you have that would help you to continue to fulfill the duties of this office.
I'm the only candidate sitting here today that has judicial experience. I went through a very deep vetting process, multiple interviews. My legal experience also spans over 30 years. I've been in this position now over a year. I understand the nuances, the time commitment, the limitations that you have as a county court judge, and I'm admitted to practice law in both New York and Florida. I'm admitted to practice before the United States Supreme Court, and while in Florida since 1999, I've been able to practice before multiple jurisdictions, not just Putnam County, but all over the state of Florida. And I believe all of that brought to bear good experience as to what to do and what not to do in the position of judge. And I hope to keep my position and be able to continue serving the people of Putnam County.
Thank you. And same question to Alex Sharp.
Well, specifically legally qualifications for a county judge, everybody sitting here today has those qualifications already. But candidly, my personal life experiences make me the best choice for our county judge. I understand the community. I've lived here locally all my life. I've ran businesses here. I know about management. I know about budgeting. My legal background as a police officer put me in the criminal justice system, and I've been in front of many judges here locally in Putnam County. I know how our court system works here in Putnam County. My community service to this county is, well, the record speaks for itself. I've been giving back to my community ever since I was a young adult male, and I think that can translate well in providing Putnam County with a judge that can prioritize fairness and justice for all residents. I mean, if you look at it, my experience as a police officer is basically equivalent to a judge. You go to a situation and you have two people that are disagreeing about a situation, and your communications with them has to resolve it. And I think that translates well for a local county judge here in Putnam County.
Okay, thank you. Next question is also regarding experience, and we'll go first to Judge Gennusa. What do you feel that you've done in your legal career that you think has prepared you to serve as judge?
Raising 5 children is definitely a sounding board to be able to make decisions. My community service, my involvement in different civic organizations, I've been in leadership positions for the Florida Bar, including the Traffic Rules Committee, Grievance Committee. I'm a mediator, I'm a qualified arbitrator. All of those put you in roles of neutrality, especially being a mediator. You have to be neutral, you have to be able to assist people in facilitating and having self-determination in their cases. And so I believe that all of my life experience, legal experience, and business experience. I ran a law practice from 1999 where I actually got higher education, went back to get a master's level certification in HR management because I thought it was very important when running a business to be able to do everything that you need to do within the business. And that's actually helped me in taking the bench.
Thank you. And Alex Sharp, same question. What do you think you've done in your legal career that's helped you to prepare to be a judge?
Well, I definitely think my 13 years of service as a City of Plaquemine police officer, my 5 years of service as an assistant state prosecutor, and my going on 8 years now as the general counsel for the sheriff's office has definitely allowed me to hone my communication skills. And I'm going to circle back to what I said before. A lot of what it makes to be a good judge, in my personal opinion, is communications. And that's being fair to people, being patient, understanding that if somebody's coming before you, this might be the first time ever that they've been in the court system, and they need to understand what's going on. And I think my ability to communicate with people, to emphasize with them, while still following the law, though, is going to make me the best choice to be your Putnam County judge.
Okay, thank you. And Constance Daniels, same question.
So my experience as a community servant gives me the wherewithal to boast about the fact that I'm prepared. I'm a legal servant of my church. I'm the co-chairperson on the board of directors as well as its legal ministry. I also have family members who are military oriented. Those are veterans, as well as those my brothers who are still with me, also teaching and guiding. I'm also a member, a mentor with Take Stock in Children. I'm a member of the Rotary of Interlochen and the American Legion. When you embrace service, you also embrace the understanding that not only must you listen, you must also be able to follow. In addition to that, judges have to hear the law, understand the law, interpret the law, and apply the law. And that's what qualifies me, because I have the wherewithal to do all of that.
Thank you so much. Our next question, we're going to start with Alex Sharp for that one. What is your judicial philosophy? Or in other words, what do you see the role of a judge is?
Well, I'm a what they call a textualism, and I believe when the law is written, we take it at its face value. What the words say is what the word means. This goes back to one of my favorite justices, which I think is one of the questions coming. But I think as a judge, we need to, when we're talking about looking at a law and applying it, you take the plain language of the law. If the law says, you shall not trespass on somebody's property, that's what the law means. And we shouldn't stray from that as a judge. That's not our role in the government system. And that's how I would judge from the bench, is whatever the law, apply it equally and without bias and fairly as they come before me.
Thank you. And Constance Daniels, same question.
So the role of a judge is to interpret the law and apply the law accordingly in the most fair and impartial and unbiased manner as possible, to respect the due process rights of all while maintaining focus and structure on the courtroom. It is also to demand the respect for the judicial process, which includes everyone involved: our law enforcement officers, our clerks, our judicial assistants, our bailiffs, our officers of the court, who are other lawyers. So no matter how bad someone wants to win, we still have to treat each other respectfully and professionally with courtesy. The Florida rules, the Florida bar rules requires it, the Florida rules of judicial conduct require it, and that's what we must do. So I'll function under the umbrella of justice and have that role to play in terms of being fair and impartial to everyone.
Thank you. And same question to Judge Gennusa. What is your judicial philosophy?
It's actually quite simple. Follow the law. Do not legislate from the bench. Anybody who comes before you is equal, whether they are the victim, the plaintiff, the defendant. Everybody comes in there equally. And then it's the analogy of watching the justice shift. The scales of justice can go one way or another. I use the analogy, and it seems to work well for people that have never been into the court system. It's almost like an umpire calling balls and strikes. I'm not there to make law. I'm there to follow the law and make the best decision that I can make based on the facts and circumstances that are presented by counsel. Now, obviously, people want, to hear, tough on crime, and that's not really what it's about. It's about doing what's right, and sometimes doing what's right is not always popular, but that's the role that we would all be entitled and would have to maintain as a judge, and I follow that.
Our next question, we'll start with Constance Daniels for this one. Are there any current or former Supreme Court judges that you admire, and why?
So I hesitate to answer that question because it places one in the position of aligning yourself with the philosophy or the thought process of how those judges ruled. And the rules of judicial canon basically says you shouldn't prejudge or presuppose anything. And so I hesitate. However, I will say that in my position with regard to that is that Supreme Court justices are deemed, some conservative, some liberal. I'm impartial, and I'll be impartial. So with me, I'll judge each case on a case-by-case basis on its own unique set of facts, and I believe that's what every Supreme Court justice does.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Judge Gennusa, are there any current or former Supreme Court justices that you admire and why?
I really liked Justice Scalia for a few reasons. Number one, he's Italian, like I was. Number two, he was a straight shooter and believed in originalism and textualism, which I think is extremely important. He may not have always been popular, but you always knew where he stood, which I always think is a really good thing as a judge. From a perspective of admiring him, I like that whether you agreed with him or not, you knew that he was going to follow the law and he wasn't going to just try to interject his personal belief into what was appearing before him. And to me, I think that's really important, that everybody who comes before you as a judge, whether a Supreme Court justice or even just a county judge, knows that they're going to have the ability to make their case and to be treated fairly and to not have somebody prejudge them. So, thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. And same question, Alex Sharp.
I think that Judge Gennusa stole my thunder. Justice Scalia is also one of my favorites. I'm not Italian, I'm sorry. But I like Judge Scalia for a number of reasons, but the one that I can opine on is his belief in the Constitution. And the Constitution is what makes America great, and that's the separation of powers. You have the three branches, you have the executive, you have the legislative, and you have the judicial. And Judge Scalia understood that well, that the judicial role in this branch of government is to interpret the law and apply it as the legislative branch writes it and creates it. And I think he expounded upon that. Other countries might have better constitutions than us that say they do all these wonderful things, but he said it ever so eloquently. It's just parchment promises. Only in America, here in the United States, do we keep those promises and we follow that Constitution.
Thank you. Our next question, we'll go back to Judge Gennusa for this. So it's maybe could have been worded a little bit differently since you're already serving on the bench, but this position carries a weight of responsibility that will put you in the spotlight and at the same time require you to not talk openly about what you're doing or thinking about things. And are you prepared for that prepared for that to continue?
Absolutely. The great thing is I belong to the Kiwanis Club, and so when you go there, you don't have a title. And if you do, you get fined. So it's kind of nice to just be a person in a civic organization and not be the judge, which I really enjoy that. The anonymity it comes with it and it doesn't come with it at the same time. It's nice to be the county judge here. People recognize you. However, you are pretty much alone or with your family because you're not able to do a lot of the things that you may have been able to do, like fundraisers. So there's certain things that I did in private practice that I've not been able to do here. Community services as a pro bono attorney. Can't do that anymore. And I do miss it because there are a lot of people that do require and need to have representation. However, on the flip side, it's really nice because when I go home, and I don't have to worry about, is the phone going to ring or is something going to happen? So that is definitely a benefit at this point.
Okay, and Alex Sharp, same question.
Well, definitely, if chosen to be Putnam County's judge, discretion and confidentiality is a big aspect of it. I already do practice that, as is my position as the general counsel for the sheriff's office. I'm not allowed to opine on cases that I'm aware of or investigations that I know are ongoing. It's a very important thing to show the public that you are neutral and that you are going to give an unbiased opinion on something. And so, yes, it could be a very lonely position, but I think it's an important one for a judge to keep himself away from the fray, as to say, especially in today's world of social media and the internet and everything else that is available to people. As a perception, people want to see that their judge goes into every case neutral. And again, I already practiced that as a member of the sheriff's office.
And Constance Daniels, same question.
Yes, I'm prepared for that. Having practiced law in the juvenile dependency area of law, which is also called the child abuse area of law, excuse me, where I represent parents and I also represent children with special needs as an attorney at Litem, I've had to make sure that I'm always confidential because that area of law is, even though it's recorded, is the one area of law or the main area of law that is always confidential no matter what. So with regards to whether or not I'm prepared, I also would say that I have no concerns about being in the spotlight because where and if I am, I hold myself accountable. I'll interpret the law and apply the law. I'll hold every person accountable. I'll hold everyone who appears before me accountable. And because of that, I believe that when you treat people with respect, you hold people accountable, including yourself, then being in the spotlight only gives you the wherewithal to show people that you are fair, impartial, and unbiased, which I will be.
For our next question, we'll start with Alex Sharp for that. What type of community service or activities are you currently involved in?
Well, I am the current member of the Putnam County Bar Association. It's the local association of attorneys here within Putnam County. Actually, I'm the president. I've been the president going on 3 years. I'm a member of the Palaca Sunrise Rotary, Florida's friendliest club. Had to get that out there. It's a civic organization, and it's actually it's been a passion of mine. I joined them about little under 10 years ago, and we do a lot of things locally. I really love working with them. We do a lot of fundraisers, nonpartisan fundraisers. If somebody needs a roof, if somebody needs a pole barn so they can feed the homeless, this club has really stepped up and shown me they're just like a second family to me. So I just have to give a big shout out to my fellow Rotary members. With that said, I also sit on numerous boards within the county. I sit on the Keep Putnam Beautiful nonprofit organization. I sit on the 1024 Foundation and numerous other activities. I got a list here, but we didn't quite make it, so I'm going to just end it with that.
Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Daniels, same question.
I am the co-chairperson of the board of directors of my church. I'm also a mentor with Take Stock in Children in Putnam County. Take Stock is a statewide mentoring program, so that's why I make sure that people know it's here in Putnam County. I'm also a member of the American Legion Auxiliary Post 45, and I'm also a member of the Rotary of Interlochen and the Lakes. Before I moved here, I was a member of the Kiwanis Club of Tampa and Rotary of Hillsborough County, as well as other organizations. I was a volunteer with the annual student reunion matters. I also made sure that I mentored with Derek Brooks Charities, Children with a Vision, Inc. I was on the board of directors for Children's Homes. So before I came here, I was involved, but since I've been here, it's more limited to those agencies that I mentioned earlier.
Okay, thank you. And Judge Gennusa, same question. What type of community service or activities are you involved in?
So I am currently also a member of the Putnam County Bar, which I've been for many years. I am a member of the Pilot Club, the Women's Club, and Kiwanis Club. There's limitations as to what we can do as judges, so those 3 clubs fit the vision that I wanted with children, and helping children, which was really great. Prior to taking the bench, I did thousands of hours of community service over the course of my career. I really loved giving back here in Putnam County as well as St. John's and Duval County. So I did community service in our Tri-County area. Obviously, it would be great to be able to do more for the community. However, the position only allows you to do certain things. Can't do fundraising. So even though I'm a member of all 3 clubs, there's certain limitations that I would have because obviously you're not supposed to lend your position to that. So Putnam's been very welcoming, and the clubs that I belong to are really great.
Thank you. And as a Christian radio station, you might realize that some of our listeners want to know a little bit more about your faith. And so we always make sure to ask a question regarding that. So we'll go to Constance Daniels first. What role might your faith play in your service as a judge?
The bottom line is I intend to follow the law. But I think that people should not think that you leave your faith at the door when you take the bench. I'm a Christian. I have been my whole life. And so what helps me to know that I'll be the right judge and the best judge is when I preside, I don't leave those morals and values behind. I have to follow the law. I have to apply the law. But I also can do it in a manner that garners the respect that individuals need in a Christ-like manner. I can't deviate from the law. I won't do that. But what I will do is make sure that people have their day in court, that people not feel belittled or demeaned, that I conduct myself in a manner that I know when I go home at night, I can sleep. When I pray, I know I've done a good job. And that's what I do every day before I even handle someone's cases. I pray because I always want to do the right thing.
Judge Gennusa, same question. What role might your faith play in your service as a judge?
My faith plays a very large role in just not only me being a judge, but just as a human being. And it's one of the things that Putnam County has been extremely welcoming within the Christian community when I first got here, and also being here practicing for the last 24 years. Being able to understand what the process is and how important it is to the individuals that come before you, it's almost Solomon-like. You have to make a decision, and sometimes people may not be happy with the decision, but you still have to be faithful, and you have to believe. And just understand that people at times that may come before you may not have the same background or faith base that you believe in. So just being cognizant of that and just doing the best job you can do while serving and being on the bench.
Thank you. And same question, Alex Sharp.
Well, being from Putnam County, I was definitely raised Southern Baptist over in East Palatka. But again, I just want to echo what my colleagues here said up here is I think a very strong foundation religiously and morally plays well, but you can't let that interject in your duties as a judge. I think you must learn to compartmentalize that, and that you need to understand that you have to follow the law. And even while I believe in the big guy in the sky there is going to guide me in the right way, the words on the parchment are what I have to follow in the courtroom.
Thank you so much. And for our final question, Judge Gennusa, we'll go back to you to go first. Why should people vote for you?
I am your current county judge. I enjoy the position. I am doing, I believe, a good job with having little to no judicial experience before I took the bench. I bring to the bench over 30 years now of legal experience. My website is Keep Judge Gennusa, and for those of you that can't spell Gennusa, it's GENNUSA, and I would ask for your vote on August 20th. I really enjoy this position. I'm qualified for this position, and it is my hope to be able to continue serving the people in Putnam County for a long career. I thank you all.
And Alex Sharp, why should people vote for you?
Well, if given the chance here in Putnam County, I will provide a courtroom environment that is fair to all and enforce the law as it is written. I will never forget, for many Putnam County citizens coming into the courtroom, this might be their first visit in a setting such as that, and I'll always show compassion, patience, and communicate to them the process, even if they're upset or angry at my decisions. As a longtime resident of Putnam County, I think I am uniquely qualified to be your next Putnam County judge. And as I said before, I've had many challenging jobs here in Putnam County, and I've succeeded at all of them very well. And I look forward to you making your choice on August the 20th and picking me as your next Putnam County judge. I do have a website. It's very simple. It's sharpforjudge.com, and I have a Facebook page. And if you want to learn more about me, just go to those sites.
Thank you so much. And why should people vote for Constance Daniels?
People should vote for Constance Daniels because I'll be fair, impartial, and unbiased. I'll make sure that I treat everyone with respect. I'll make sure that everyone has his or her day in court. I'll make sure that I won't prejudge any case. I'll make sure that the experience that I have, I'll utilize it to make sure that everyone who appears before me knows that I'm accountable and that I'm going to hold you accountable. I have the right temperament. I believe that everyone's due process is valuable. So no matter what case, how egregious or how simplistic, you have a right to be heard. I plan to give you that right. I have a website, www.constancedanielsforjudge.com. I also have a Facebook page. We're limited today to show you our gratitude, but go to my website. You can read more about me, contact me. I'm availing myself to you. Vote Constance Daniels for judge.
Well, thank you all for your participation in our forum. This has been a public service of our ministry to help you as the voter to make an informed decision. And we'll provide not only this, but many other forums online so that you can think about it, pray about it, and head to the polls. Of course, the primary on August 20th, but also early voting opportunities are August 5th through 17th. If you have any questions about voting, please do contact our Supervisor of Elections office at 386-329-0224. And I also encourage you to visit there to pick up one of these voter guides because it has all the information you need and probably then some. It tells you a little bit more so that you can be an informed citizen, and it's been a pretty handy guide. Also, you can visit their website at soe.putnam-fl.com. And we thank you so much for watching. Hope that you'll share this and watch the other forums that we have available for you as well. God bless you.